Monkey.
What's up, y'all?
What's good, y'all?
I know it's been a long ass time.
Yeah, it's been a little minute since we've been on here.
Yes, forever. But we back
We back.
to give y'all this melanated heat to let y'all know what it's like here in the sunny state of
We
Colorado.
used to say dropping that heat once a week.
But it has not been once a
It's
week.
been. Let me just take my glasses off because it's
Because we ain't shit.
yeah. it's disrespectful at this point.
Very fucking disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. So
We've been trying to get this video out forever, but we have been busy, y'all. We are so sorry. But what we decided to do was an update to our 5 living hates to Colorado. And we don't have five, but we have the same ones that we evaluated, with the exception of some that don't even matter to us anymore. And
Right.
then one that's a love and a hate.
Yeah.
So we just
it's an update. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Y'all want to know how we doing.
Yeah.
We're here.
So you look good. So
That's what I figured.
what
Siri
you talking
just-
about? Sarah, I know you talking about man like that.
Ooh, Siri just awesome.
So I'm sorry. So we are gonna hop right in, but just to let you guys know, this is officially 2 years that we've been in Colorado. So you guys can know, like, we've had some experience. We've pretty much done everything you could do in Colorado and experienced the pandemic in Colorado. So this is how we feel now. It's kind of been deactivating our southernness.
Yeah.
That's what I could call it. So jump right in. The first thing that we talked about in our last video, which is linked down below, from
Cost
when
of
we were
living.
here like 1 month, is cost of living. And that shit is still spicy.
Ooh,
And that
y'all.
shit is spicier.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, things has gotten expensive.
fuck, it's so
Like,
fucking expensive.
I think we done got kind of used to it, but not enough to just to not notice it. It's ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous. Like,
The thing is, I feel like it's okay for the most part, but the big thing is, I think we've come to the realization that unless something drastic changes is within like the next 5 years, the size house that we need, like, we will never be able to afford here.
no.
So
No.
we actually have been talking lately about, like, do we even want to make this our forever home, because we don't know
Right.
if we'll ever be able to buy a house here. Is that our children?
That's our children. But
Why is it giving so much ghetto?
I don't know. Y'all know how our kids be. Yeah, we won't be able to. And not even that we won't be able to purchase a
Without
home,
being house poor and
but
paying
we
only our
would.
mortgage.
Right. But it's like, who wants to actually do that?
Yeah.
I don't want to pay $800,000 for a house.
A 2-bedroom. We met a lady who had an $800,000 house, and she only had 2 bedrooms.
And it was a townhome on all of it. Well, it was bigger than a townhome, but it only had 2 bedrooms. But
It was like a
set up
standalone,
like that.
right?
It was a standalone, of course, but still, it was just like, I'm not interested in paying $800,000 for a 2-bedroom house. First of all, I got 4 kids, so we definitely need at least 4 bedrooms, like
Off top.
So yeah, I'm not.
But
finna
she
do
did live
that.
downtown.
Yeah, but again,
But that still
I
was
can drive
still
to
bananas.
downtown. Like,
But even like locally, like every
Even
time
then, yeah.
new neighborhoods are popping up, you looking at like starting in the high
course.
400s.
high 400s right off the bat.
And for a townhouse, high 3s.
Yeah,
Which is fucking bananas to
I mean,
me.
which is crazy.
And that's a baby ass house. Like, you gonna live in most of the time the fucking hood or way out from the city and wait for the city to develop unto you. And
Basically.
I'm not interested in none of that shit.
yeah, me either. So,
Well, you gonna pray that the city gonna develop onto you, because you don't even know if they gonna,
really?
yeah, which I think is bullshit. So
So cost of living is still high.
It's still spicy than motherfucker. What I can say is, I feel like I've gotten used to the cost of living when it comes to food.
Yeah.
Because outside of purchasing a home, I do feel like the cost of living, if you have a set of skills, cost of living does equal out with pay.
Yeah.
I still feel that, and I still stand on that. Now, if you just a lazy ass motherfucker that don't like to get out here and hustle, it's not for you.
Yeah, because.
Yeah, but you can make money here.
But you definitely get that, and that's what I was gonna say. Is definitely you have the opportunity to make money for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So
that is a good thing.
Agreed. Baby, can you see what the pause?
Can you go?
No, I'm just gonna.
Put on YouTube Scooby Crap. Sit down and stop screaming. Hush it.
Y'all know we got kids. If you've been here for a while, then you know we got a lot of kids. We ain't even finna edit this out. Okay, number 2 is food. Still ain't shit for me. What about you, babe?
Nope.
Cook it at home. The positive thing about that is that if you really like trying to get yourself together weight-wise and have a healthier lifestyle, you can do it, because ain't shit here to eat but chain restaurants, and they fuck that up half the time. So
yeah.
no.
So food is still horrible. We did find one place that was pretty decent.
Where?
That I actually looked up, and by our standards is look up, go, and it actually be what it is.
Hold on, babe. What we got to tell them about is that catching real shit.
Oh.
That shit was so disrespectful.
Yeah, so we let somebody talk us into going to get seafood here.
It was so.
And the pictures is what got us. We was hungry.
Ghetto.
Yeah, we dropped like $100 that day, and it was horrible.
It was bullshit.
It was very horrible. I mean, I left and I felt very, very sexually abused.
Yeah, I did too.
Like, I didn't even really. Yeah, it was bad. We're gonna skip over that, but we did.
Where was the seasoning?
There was no seasoning.
These motherfuckers bought us some shrimp in the bags with the you know how you get the seafood in the bag shit? No seasoning. The butter didn't even have a color.
I didn't know.
First of all, was there butter?
I didn't know how they brought it all in the butter, but then the butter wasn't on the food. I was
confused.
Don't ever go to no hook and reel out here.
Hook and reel nowhere. Them motherfuckers have lost my trust.
If it's in the South, you can probably chance and do, but I wouldn't know nowhere here at all. So.
Oh, that shit was a disaster.
But we did find this Jamaican spot that was bomb.
What was it called?
Jamaican jerk and barbecue. Off the chain.
In Aurora.
Okay, like. But it's in the hood though, so it's like, can you really?
Like when it comes to that, it's like when I walk into an island spot, like when it comes to like Jamaican, Trinidad, any of that, like I don't want to be able to understand what you're saying.
Basically.
The only thing I want to understand is jerk. That's it. Yeah. I don't understand that.
Tree. I want to hear it.
I want
toss.
Yeah, that's it.
Of the jerk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell you how petty we are. We gonna call ahead, and we was like, if whoever pick up the phone don't have a Jamaican accent, I'm not going.
Man, we are not going. And the first place we called was that place, and he picked up, and we was like,
I'm ready to go.
We're gonna run it, and he did. We got there, had some jerk wings, some beef patties. The kids had rice and peas. They had some jerk wings too. It blew their mind. They ain't had nothing like it. So, yeah, it's still not great. That was just one bright spot we thought we mentioned, to tell y'all. But the food is just...
It's trash.
It's trash.
It'll never be like the South.
Yeah, so...
And that's why I've lost 35 pounds.
Basically. Yeah.
That and then the cost of food, you like, do I want to eat dirty and expensive or clean and be moderately?
Yeah.
So forget it. The next one we have is culture, church, religion. Church doesn't really matter to us as much, but I think the lack of culture for me
is a lot.
It is. I mean, it's starting to mentally take a toll.
Yeah. It is gotten progressively worse on that subject. Just the lack of culture, just At first, I didn't think so because we were in the South, and I guess when you be around it. For me, it was always kind of like I'm not necessarily tired of being around too many of that, but it kind of been you kind of wanted more balance. But then when we got up here, it was like, man, this all the way left. Like it ain't even a balance to be considered. So it's like it has gotten bad, definitely.
It's really bad. I think like just the lack of like different types of people around is just, I don't know. And then when it comes to like church, we basically gave up on that. For me, I wouldn't even consider myself to be a Christian anymore. Definitely still believe in God, but just the organized religion thing, you have to visit my other channel or my podcast to understand how I got there. That's another subject. But when it comes to like religion, I think the positive thing, we're looking at it from the other side of the spectrum, is that because it's not this like huge layer of religion over the entire place, you really get to see like who you are, who the people around you are, because people are not afraid of being basically disowned because they're not within the guidelines of a certain religion. And I think too, like that brings along another level of tolerance when it comes to people's spiritual religious beliefs. Like you don't have those debates that you see Christians have with people, and not just Christians, because Christians, whatever religion, you don't have those, like you don't have those debates about what you believe in. People are much more willing to just accept like that we believe something different, and let's agree to disagree, but not let that too much affect our relationship, as long as it's not disrespectful to me or whatever. That's something I really appreciate about here. And like just to piggyback off of that, another thing that I really, anyway, so to piggyback off of that, I think something that I can appreciate a lot about here too is that because you don't have that extreme religious thing, you also don't have that extreme political thing, because that shit was exhausting in the South.
Oh my God,
I was so over that shit.
Everything's so politically motivated and based. It's like I don't actually really care to talk this 24/7.
It's like we vote how we vote,
right?
Whatever,
and I think that should be what it is. I mean, the same way somebody's color is not your favorite color or whatever. I see it as simple as black and white. It is what it is. Who I voted for or who I picked or whatever, it's a personal choice. It's like it really ain't. It really don't matter. What does my decision at this point really gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What is me telling you? Well, how is that even, you know what I mean? Like, relative to anything that me and you are even talking about, if it's not nothing substantial. So I'm just like, no, I don't want to do it. But here, you have the lack of that. So,
because in the South, it was like, especially when it became time to vote, it was just like extreme. You got your Republicans, your Democrats, you got your, everybody feel like you should be on one side or another because you black or you white, and then you got your black Republicans, and you got your white Democrats. It was just like, it was so many
black Republicans, black Democrats.
Yeah, it was such a big box, of just like crap, and it was just exhausting all the time. That it was like we were always talking about politics, and I was burnt out on that shit.
Yeah, that was a lot.
So the next thing is a lack of diversity. That shit is for real.
That's part of the reason why we have been talking about moving to other places, because I can't.
Like, I'm getting to the point where, and we had to do a separate video about how much our kids have struggled in the public school system because we live in a predominantly white area. That's a whole nother video.
It is.
And then how we've struggled with being, just like for real. For me specifically, I don't work a regular job anymore, but like I was very, very exhausted with always being the only person of color in the workplace. Like the shit was really just irritating the fuck out of me, because one thing that is really prevalent here in Colorado, like we've talked about in previous videos, is there's not a lot of direct racism, but there's a bunch of micro aggressions. And even with the microaggressions, going a step further, there's just a lot of like genuine fucking ignorance. Like for real, there's a lot of genuine ignorance, because I feel like in the South, it's part of the culture to talk about history and everything, because our ancestors have made sure that we understand where we came from and the power we possess in A, B, and C. But here that's not discussed because there has never been a lot of black people. This is a new boom for them, and so the ignorance of the history is like fucking beyond me. Like I remember I was talking to somebody at the last job I worked at about she was talking about the vaccine, and for me, I feel like it's a personal decision. I'm neither for it or against it. I feel like you do whatever is the best for your family.
Basically,
and so
yeah.
she was talking about, like, this is a white lady, and she was talking about how she doesn't understand why so many people of color are against the vaccine. And I was fucking flabbergasted, because I was like, I said real nice, I was like, I could understand both sides. I could understand how somebody could be for it, and I could understand how somebody of color, especially a black person, could be against it. And she was so, like, she was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I think the problem is, you know, America saying, oh, black people don't want to get vaccinated, versus saying, like, hey, America, hey, black people, we, America, recognize the things that we've done to you in history as far as medicine goes, basically using you as fucking puppets for damn near all the groundbreaking medicine that's happening in this country. So we're acknowledging that, and then try to find some middle ground around it. And this bitch actually said, so what happened? So I just started naming shit, and for real, y'all know I got a psychology degree. This lady had no idea what the fuck the Tuskegee experiment was, like, at all. So I guess her daughter was a social worker and moved to California and was like this really progressive person. So she called her daughter that night, was talking to her daughter about it, came to work the next day and was literally like crying, trying to hold my hand about it and telling me how sorry she was that this has happened to my people. And I'm like, oh, but you really didn't know. Like,
like you behind the curve.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you talking about this one thing out of like a gazillion? Like,
because that ain't the last, that wasn't the first or the last time they did some shit. So, yeah.
And so, I mean, like, that conversation right there was very annoying to me, because it's like the lack of understanding that, like, black history is American history is very annoying to me. So just those types of, I could go on and on and on about all the ignorance, like actual ignorance that exists with people who are not people of color here. And it gets exhausting, because it's not my responsibility to educate you. There's books everywhere. You could Google this shit. So anyways, I got off on a tangent, but that shit is exhausting, and I think our children is experiencing the same thing now in school. Sure. So we'll make another video about that. The next thing is weather, which I feel like is a love and hate.
When it's good, it's good. When it's not,
oh wait,
it's not.
Real quick, just an update. We still ain't got no fucking friends, so that'll let you know how much of a diversity
yes.
Like. We thought we was gonna get someone went to that Juneteenth thing, and then I was like, honestly, these are not actually the black people that I want to make friends with.
It didn't really, pan out well. So,
what happened, babe?
It didn't pan out well. It didn't. The result was not what we expected at all. So, we're back to square one. But
I get with him.
But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's just not.
Oh,
enough.
I got that one friend, and then we got our neighbors. But that's
but then that's it. Yes. So if you haven't since noticed, we definitely have moved. So.
But the other thing is, we don't actually have any black friends or people that we like, you know, because we real serious about the word friends. They're like from here.
True.
I'm not gonna lie. The black people that I meet that are from here, they're weird. They're so fucking weird.
Yeah. No, they're bad. It's I can't. And we've said that on 5 Valid Concerns before, on the video, what we learned about black people from Colorado. They're not set up
different. Like they different. Because our one friend, they're a gay couple, they're guys, and they're from Atlanta. Well, one is actually from Missouri.
Right.
And then the other one, they wherever they were from, they moved here from Atlanta.
Right.
And then our other friends, they came from D.C. And so I just been talking to those people that I can connect with and asking them, like, because I'm thinking, like, maybe it's just me and Trey. And no, it's not just me and Trey. They feel the exact same way.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, because the people from D.C., they have a family and they have 4 children too. And she was saying the same thing. She was just
same exact stuff.
Even when it came down to the kids' school. Anyways. Moving on, weather, love and hate.
I mean, when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. I've grown to definitely love the fall and springtime and hate the winter. That's just as simple as that.
I like the summer.
Yeah, I love the summer. This is kind of summer. Some days it is blazing. Yeah, like
no, this
is fall technically.
Okay.
So we're in fall now, but summer was a hot summer this summer, but still, it's like. I like the sun. I like to get out. We've got bikes now, so it's like we're active outside. So we like to get out and do things. So whether it is really hot, we still might go to the park. We have picnics. So the option to do that, but in the wintertime it's just so dull, and the cold brings a different energy. It brings
It's dark too.
It's dark. It brings that slow, like depressing, like very, 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 like I don't want to do anything. Mind stay
in the bed.
Stay in the bed. And man, you know, if you don't watch yourself in wintertime, like
you'll get depressed.
You'll definitely get depressed. You know, we struggle with that a lot.
Yeah.
Last winter for sure. So
yeah, for sure. I think we have another video that we'll link below where we talk about we kind of touch on seasonal depression. And so I have always struggled with bouts of depression in my life, but what I realized, and anxiety, but what I realized here is like there doesn't have to be anything when the winter comes in. Like seasonal depression is real, y'all. So like for people who know that they have issues with depression or anxiety, like that's something to seriously consider when moving here, because like right now I got a whole action plan like of what's gonna happen for the winter.
Right.
Like I'm not joking, the whole bedroom looks like summer right now, because part of my tactic is bring in like the light inside, and then I've done extreme research on light therapy, so I'll be doing that this winter. And then we got skate passes because we're really active like on the bikes, because we've been into this like activate your childhood joy thing.
Yes.
And so to replace the bikes, to be able to just get out, we got a skating pass, so we could do that while the kids are at school. Oh, sorry, the air just popped on. But and then like in-home workouts, we got like a whole weight set we're gonna be working with.
Yeah.
But like we got a whole plan, because it is really a serious thing. Like baby doesn't have like diagnosed depression or anything like that, but even he like can get into this mood where he don't want to get out. And honestly, some of that could be just like me projecting that from how I'm feeling. But if you have like, you know, you have an issue with depression, like that shit is real when it comes to the seasons here, especially when you can't get out and be active. So that's something to keep, you know,
very, very in mind.
Yeah.
So
3 seasons though. You hot, mama.
You great.
You got
Straight
this.
up. Straight up A1.
That winter though.
That winter can come in rough.
It is. I mean, my body.
And it's a real winter.
It's a real winter. I mean, it's not like severe, like, you know, like Ohio or New York or something, but we do
when
get
I say
snow.
winter, I just mean like the snow, but I'm also in terms of length. Like what we've known as the 4 seasons, like equally, which is 4 months. If it's 4 seasons, you know, 12, because it's 12 months divided. It's definitely 4 months of winter for sure. Like
no, 3.
3, yeah, 3. I'm sorry. So 3, because that's but it is 3 months of winter for sure. Like November, December, and January can easily be those 3 months, or December, January, and February definitely could be those 3 months. I would take November out. I would say no, December, January, and February, because in March it's kind of like split. It's weird because in the first half of March it's still snowing, but in that second half you kind of get snowing, but then it'll like snow, but then the sun will pop out, or you'll have some sunny days but it'll only be like 40, you know what I mean, things like that. So as you like transition, which is how it does anyway, but yeah, when I say real winter, like it's 3 months of solid, and December, January, February for sure, you can count them sunny days out. Like,
yeah, I think that's the big thing for me.
Yeah, you can definitely count that out.
Like I'm okay in fall, because we do get like a little bit of snow in fall, and I realize it's not that. But what I will say is I'm okay at the height of the day in the fall, because even now I'm starting to notice like it's taking longer to get sunny outside, and so my body is like struggling with that, because I already knows like winter is coming. And then during the winter it's like it's 300 days of sunshine in Colorado, but like all 60 days of no sunshine feel like they occur in the winter.
Yeah.
And it's like consistent days of just like no complete sunlight, and that is what I feel like really triggers me. So
yeah,
that's something to consider.
Yep.
But so the next thing is we do feel like it's peaceful here.
Yes.
Which is something we kind of touched on with the politics. I just feel like it's more laid back. Like you got kind of like that boho vibe here, which is all the way me. And it's like not this bunch of explaining to do about who you want to exist as, or if you want to exist. Like it's not
right. I don't feel like there's this, you know, expectation that you have when you in certain parts of the country or the U.S. Like in
These
LA
standards.
for right standards. You're right. So like in LA, it's kind of like everybody here. I feel like is living above something. You know what I'm saying? And making themselves seem a certain way because that's just how LA culture is. Like, it's very, you know, Hollywood is a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, when we went, that was a real thing. Like, I don't think I ever seen anybody dressed down. Like, even, you know what I mean? Or from the cars that they drive, or just a lot of stuff. Like, you see a lot of that star power, or whatever you want to call it, out there, like that star energy. And not necessarily everybody wants to be a star, but I think that's just, you know, I mean, it could be, but I was just saying, you know, but I just think because it's California, it's Hollywood, it's LA,
there's the
it's,
standards.
you know, you know, there's all these stars and all of this. And so I think that is there. Here, I just really feel like people really coexist. Like, I feel like people just are who they are, and it just works. Like she said, you don't have to go explain like over, hey, I'm this and this is what it is, and people are like, yeah, me too.
They just respect it.
You know, they just, you know, respect it and root you on. You know what I mean? Like,
and they move on.
And then they move on. It's not a huge deal. We don't have to stop the presses. There ain't nobody like making a fuss over it. It ain't no groups out here that's out here doing crazy stuff, you know what I mean?
They everywhere, but
they everywhere.
They scared to show their face.
But they scared to show their face here. So
I feel the same way, like with the South, with the like Southern Belle mentality, where it's like every time you step out the house, you have to be perfect. Like, I think because of like this sort of piece that not only like the vibe of Colorado has, but also the vibe of the land too. Yeah. Like, it's very easy to do things like love yourself. It's very easy to like experience body positivity, those types of things, because there's not this like social norm or expectation like hanging over your head. Like, for instance, in one of my podcast episodes, I talk about like how growing up as a black woman, like the expectation of perfection was literally like a silent killer. I feel like that shit is like non-existent here.
Yeah.
So that's that. The next thing we have is the no direct racism. We still feel the same way we feel about racism as we felt before. Like, it's not direct, but there's a bunch of micro transgressions and ignorance, like what we just previously talked about. Like, I wouldn't necessarily consider ignorance. I wouldn't say ignorance and racism goes hand in hand. I would say that some people that are ignorant because they've never been exposed, right? But they're genuinely good people. But then there's some people that don't care to be exposed because they are racist. Because that, right. So, you know, I feel like Denver gives me the vibe like Houston does, or Austin in Texas, where it's like, stay in the city though, because once you get in these back skirts, you might get some back to blue flags. Yeah, you might get some crazy Trump 2020 flags hanging up, and it's like, he's not coming back at all. Might as well let that theoretically
go.
But
you know what I mean?
You never know with the U.S. This shit is unpredictable now. So yeah, I think that's really all I got to say about the racism. It hasn't been. I think here is more so just, I wish that people would educate themselves more. That's really what it is. Education. Yeah. And the microaggressions, I could deal with that, because just like you could talk in a professional tone and say A, B, and C, so can I. So we even. Yeah, we even, because I could cuss you out in professional jargon. Yeah. Control, Alt, Delete. Control, Alt, Delete. Period. Backspace. Period. The last thing is that we feel like Colorado provides a healthier lifestyle. Yeah. I think it's easier to live a healthier lifestyle. Way easier. It's so much, because there's so many things to do, and because they do have besides that winter, they do have a lot of days of sunshine. They really do. And it's hard not to get out in Colorado, because you just make it enjoyable. So like, the weather makes it really is nice weather. So when you step outside to do an errand, or you run into, like, you really be like, man, I could like hang out today. Go to the park. You know what I mean? And that's how we ended up getting all the bikes. Like, we got a whole set of bikes right now, because we just like, listen, we all want to get out. And we rode our bikes every morning, every evening, every day, just about, you know what I mean? Because it is. I mean, you know, the kids don't even realize that they burning calories that way, or they're getting out and exercising. The park, I mean, we tore the park up, and it don't get old. It don't. You know what I mean? And there's so many parks. And there's so many parks. And Colorado is beautiful. The scenery is great. So you really don't even have to have a park. You can go somewhere right now, city or not, and
be in a grass patch somewhere and really just absolutely love it. Like, you know what I mean? Fall in love with that because it's so nice. Like right now, it's just really, really nice. It makes you want to get out. There's always a breeze. It does get hot, but again, I mean, you know.
Yeah, like right
once
now,
you
we're
out,
making insane.
you know, right now, but you know, the weather is, I mean, the lifestyle definitely easier. There's a lot of spots. I think that is, I will kind of say, a culture too that can be, that Denver can be associated with, is that, and West Coast period, they just be on their health kick. Like they really do.
They do.
They promote a lot of healthier things out here too.
That's the thing. You can't find good regular food, but you can find awesome vegan food.
Awesome. City O City is bomb.
And then what's the other place?
Watercourse
Watercourse
is A1.
I just experienced a freaky ass vegan truck.
Oh, that's right.
Often
I missed out,
chain.
but Mama told me this was the most. But you're right. Oh, and we did a market a while back that the lady next to you, she made vegan
her
food
name's
too.
called Kids Table.
Yeah.
Right? You talking about me and Moo?
Yes. When y'all
her
went to
name's
Vibe
called
City.
Kids Table. Yeah, that
Yes.
was good too. So there's that too. But other than that, I feel like one thing I will say to aid in like what we were talking about racism, I think what is positive for like younger generation, if you come in here like by yourself or you have teenage children or college age children, I do think people in that age group in general, like from the age of, I would say 17 to 30, are definitely more socially aware.
Definitely.
It's the older people, because you got to remember that Colorado.
To be.
Okay. I'm a thug though. I ain't scared of no bitch. You gotta remember that Colorado used to be a very conservative place, so those older people are having a hard time accepting and catching up to that. But in that age group, I would even say like just the teenagers, they're very socially aware of everything, you know, going on around them, and they're willing to be active around the causes. So that's a positive thing, but that don't take away the fact that their grandma probably still racist and their papa and daddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope y'all enjoyed this video.
Yeah.
We have about 3 more updates to do for y'all. If y'all want these additional updates, please let us know by liking and subscribing.
Yes.
Putting a thumbs up, putting a comment. Because if you don't, we won't make no more videos.
Yeah.
We just gonna keep it real with y'all.
We're gonna keep it 100. You know
We're
what I'm
gonna keep
saying?
it a buck.
$1. But anyways, y'all, listen, we're glad that y'all, you know, tuned in. Like I said, appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We missed y'all. Hope y'all missed us. And we'll holla at y'all.
Monkey.
Peace.